Hi, I'm Adam Burton, and this is the Daily Devo. Today is Tuesday, November 23, 2021. This week's Bible memory verses are Philippians chapter 2, verses 8 and 9. And being found in human form, he humbled himself by becoming obedient to the point of death, even death on a cross. Therefore, God has highly exalted him and bestowed on him the name that is above every name. Philippians chapter 2, verses 8 and 9. Here's what happened on this day in history. In 1910, the last person is executed in Sweden. John Alfred Ander was convicted of murdering Victoria Hellstein during a robbery of a currency exchange. He was the only person in Swedish history to be executed using the guillotine. Capital punishment in the country was abolished for all peacetime crimes in 1921 and for all crimes in 1973. In 1963, Doctor Who debuts on TV. The longest-running science fiction TV show first aired with an episode called An Earthly Child on the British Broadcasting Channel. The show, that has had 11 different actors play the lead role, follows the time-traveling adventures of Doctor Who uses the time and relative dimension in space, or TARDIS, to jump around in time and space. In 1976, the first man dives 100 meters in the sea without breathing equipment. Frenchman Jacques Mayol, who is also sometimes known as Dolphin Man, was 49 years old at the time. He broke his own record 7 years later by diving 105 meters. In 2005, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is elected as president of Liberia. The 2011 Nobel Peace Prize winner is also the first woman to be elected as head of state in an African country. And in 2009, the Maguindanao massacre happens in the Philippines. Considered to be the worst attack on journalists in recorded history, the massacre occurred in the southern Philippines when 57 citizens and journalists en route to register voters in Ismael Maguindanao for the upcoming gubernatorial elections were killed by gunmen and buried. 34 journalists were killed on that day. And now you do know what happened on this day in history. Meditate on this Bible passage from Proverbs 23. When you sit down to eat with a ruler, observe carefully what is before you, and put a knife to your throat if you are given to appetite. Do not desire his delicacies, for they are deceptive food. Do not toil to acquire wealth. Be discerning enough to desist. When your eyes light on it, it is gone, for suddenly it sprouts wings, flying like an eagle toward heaven. Do not eat the bread of a man who is stingy. Do not desire his delicacies, for he is like one who is inwardly calculating. Eat and drink, he says to you, but his heart is not with you. You will vomit up the morsels that you have eaten and waste your pleasant words. Do not speak in the hearing of a fool, for he will despise the good sense of your words. Do not move an ancient landmark or enter the fields of the fatherless, for their Redeemer is strong. He will plead their cause against you. Apply your heart to instruction and your ear to words of knowledge. Do not withhold discipline from a child. If you strike him with a rod, he will not die. If you strike him with the rod, you will save his soul from Sheol. My son, if your heart is wise, my heart too will be glad. My inmost being will exult when your lips speak what is right. Let not your heart envy sinners, but continue in the fear of the Lord all the day. Surely there is a future, and your hope will not be cut off. Hear, my son, and be wise, and direct your heart in the way. Be not among drunkards or among gluttonous eaters of meat, for the drunkard and the glutton will come to poverty, and slumber will clothe them with rags. Listen to your father, who gave you life, and do not despise your mother when she is old. Buy truth, and do not sell it. Buy wisdom, instruction, and understanding. The father of the righteous will greatly rejoice. He who fathers a wise son will be glad in him. Let your father and mother be glad. Let her who bore you rejoice. My son, give me your heart, and let your eyes observe my ways. For a prostitute is a deep pit, an adulteress is a narrow well. She lies in wait like a robber and increases the traitors among mankind. Who has woe? Who has sorrow? Who has strife? Who has complaining? Who has wounds without cause? Who has redness of eyes? Those who tarry long over wine, those who go to try mixed wine. Do not look at wine when it is red, when it has sparkles in the cup and goes down smoothly. In the end, it bites like a serpent and stings like an adder. Your eyes will see strange things, and your heart will utter perverse things. You will be like one who lies down in the midst of the sea, like one who lies on the top of a mast. They struck me, you will say, but I was not hurt. They beat me, but I did not feel it. When shall I awake? I must have another dream. Thanks for listening to the Daily Devo. I will see you tomorrow. God bless.